All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market prep. Hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Peter might be joining me here as we cover for Jared. Jared has something come up that needed some handling to be resolved, so he will not be joining us for engineering the markets this morning. So we will see him. Oh well, we'll miss him today's Thursday, so we will see him next week on Monday, unless sometimes he likes to make up Friday sessions, but we will see. Most likely, we will see him on Monday. Um, all right, excellent, guys. A lot going on today. We're gonna take it slow until about 8:30 or so. Get the engines cranking here. But a lot going on today. We have earnings. We have a whole bunch of stuff. Let me see if Peter here. Huh? Peter's not getting. Peter needs a link. Let me get Peter a link so he can join us, and we will get going. As I'm doing this, guys, go ahead and get your coffee, get your tea, and we will have a. It won't be engineering the markets. It'll be more like brew in the morning with Peter and I. Let's see here. Let's get Peter his link so he can join us, and then we'll get going. So we will look at over here is Peter's link. I believe it's this one right over here, 4-1. Yeah, sorry. So we got Peter's link. We'll send that over to him, and then he will join us here. Okay, there we go. Peter, that's your link. And excellent. Excellent, excellent. Our gappers list today already is early. It's 8:06, and already our gappers list is looking rather interesting with a couple of names on here. I got some good earnings. Had about Nvidia yesterday, but some good earnings play today that I'm looking forward to. Nvidia and Baba obviously being one of them. Did Baba report already? This is the first time I'm looking at anything trading related. Baba did report, yeah, because I see some action here of 5.8 this morning. So I see that. All right, so let me see, Peter. Not sure why that's not working for you. Let me try to get Peter on. Peter's trying to connect, but he's having an issue. We're gonna do one more thing here to get Peter on deck, and hopefully this will work. Let's get you a brand new link, Peter. Here. I just bear with us, guys, as we get Peter on the line this morning, and we're going to get a new link here. All right, Peter, let's try this one. See if that works. I will give Peter a sec here to try to join us on a brand new link there. But yeah, let's get into some of this stuff. I mean, Baba looks really good this morning. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Oh, let me get my friends over on YouTube. Let me bring up my YouTube chat, see what our friends they are doing. But yeah, good morning, Barbara, Michael, ATD, Cindy. Good morning, Jonathan, Mecca, Randall, Michael, Indy. Good morning, guys. Welcome, welcome. Um, let's get our YouTube friends as well. See what's going on over there. And I think Peter's having some issues. Um, yeah, Peter, I would try to close everything out, and connect to the old link. I'm getting it now. If I go into my link now, I'm just gonna check here, and it could be just the servers. I mean, this stuff runs off of servers from this company that we use, so it could be that their servers are down. So maybe it's got to be something where you check in later in a couple of minutes. See, I think my system is it's so early. I think the system even hasn't woken up. um, but yeah, so let's take a look here. Our YouTube friends, and Peter, just give it a try later, because I did just check it myself, and I'm getting the same thing you are. Something is not connecting, so it could be something out of our hands, maybe the servers. All right, there we are. We got our YouTube friends on deck too. Here it is. Perfect. Bring our chat over here so we get fired up. Well, we got Ivan, Maria, Rosie, Donovan, good friend of ours, and of course CFC, always on deck. Been a long time viewer of the channel, so thank you guys for joining this morning. And there's Peter in chat, so Peter will join us through chat, answer any questions, anything that you guys might have. So, all right, until we get to 8:30, guys, we got a couple of things. We got some time here. We got some questions we can answer if you have any. I'm going to look at earnings play So Peter, if you have any earnings play you want to throw them out, we'll start with those to see what looks good this morning as far as earnings. Right now, of course, number one thing is going to be Baba. And before I remove the stuff from yesterday, we had just an incredible trading day yesterday again. I mean, Tesla and some of these names are just every day they're giving us so much opportunity, right? This market right now is really amazing to be a day trader. I don't know about swing trader, and an investor could be very frustrating too, but day trading, it's really, really good. The market's just so volatile, so many different moves. And I'm not gonna say easy, but more predictable, right? More predictable. If you're looking at the right information, you definitely can take advantage of that. Let's see here. Yeah, Melanie's not here yet, Donovan. She'll probably join us a little bit later. She's one that logs on all the time as well. We look forward to seeing her. So yeah, let's remove the stuff from yesterday. And we're going to start with some earnings opportunities here. Let's look at Baba. Baba is the one that I was looking forward to this morning, and also NVIDIA yesterday. But Baba today, we are definitely seeing some action. And Baba can trade very well, even on news. Today, they're up 5.7. Look at the type of, this is the type of volume we like to see from Baba, guys. 2.2 million shares traded. There's Melanie. Melanie, we're asking for you. There you are. Welcome. Baba is looking really good this morning, up nicely. I'm gonna remove some of these levels towards the bottom here, and yeah, up 5.7, 2.2 million shares traded. So yeah, so Baba looking very, very nice this morning. So the other one I had on deck was Nvidia. Nvidia was going to be one that also traded huge yesterday, guys. I'm not sure if you guys looked at it after hours. I saw it late last night, and man, this was it went up like $20, right, from the high of the after hours. I'm gonna link my trade idea so we have it here. But yeah, it went up huge. Nvidia, here it is. There it is, Nvidia. So big pop for them, and their daily is just crushing. I mean, the move that Nvidia has done, guys, over the last couple of days has been incredible. So yeah, Nvidia on deck today. We're going to focus on earnings this morning, right? Because I think there's some really good names here. And guys, you can always check earnings on tradingterminal.com. Always you can check that out. There's a lot of great stuff happening there. And let me see here. Yep, here we go. And there's a little surprise there today. I'm gonna announce it now because later there'll be way too many people watching this morning. So we want to ease into this new beta that we have. And I see that it's live now because it's right on there. So I'll tell you guys what it is. Keep it to yourself for now. We don't want a whole bunch of people logging into this yet. But right over here, guys, this is the live simulator that we've been working on, right? So we have the replay simulator, right? Artie's been doing just an incredible job to getting this project off the ground running and doing testing and beta and all that good stuff. This is your live simulator with the market as it is right now. And this is your replay simulator, which I was doing some work on this yesterday. This replay simulator, man, it is really, really good. Like if you want to see how something traded, how the price action was, it is phenomenal on how accurate the price action is, right? So take advantage of that. It's a great way to practice if you're a newer trader or even experienced trader. Like I was blown away on how accurate it is, and you can actually go back and see how something traded. And did you really see the signal that you thought you saw, or did you jump the gun? Did you get into early? Did you miss the signal? This is a great way to go back and study, because recording everything you do on the best journal is to record your screen on every single thing that you do. But that's not realistic to have all that. First of all the memory you're going to need, and then to scan back and look at the parts that you actually took a trade. It's easier to go back to a replay, put the date in, put the ticker that you want, and then from there you can get more information. So there it is, guys. The replay simulator on deck, available right now. Take advantage of that. I'm gonna go over to the calendar and see what other earnings we have here. You guys over on YouTube and also in our chat can throw some tickers there that we have earnings that we might be looking good this morning. We have eBay as well. So eBay last night. Let's see how that is doing today. Let's go to eBay here. And eBay, ooh, nice little drop. The issue, now that I'm thinking about eBay a little more in detail, the issue with them is that they don't trade very well. They are not a great intraday ticker. So I'm not sure if you guys traded them in the past, but I don't think I ever had a good trade or a good feel or read on eBay. So for me, this is going to not make the cut today. Nice drop though. Nice drop, guys. Down 5.5% this morning. Donovan says on YouTube that I am gonna get those 250 likes today. Oh, listen, I might not get them today because Jared's not on. Jared's a big part of those likes. So I'm gonna have to push quite a bit this morning. Let's start right now by getting at least some on the board before we get deep into this session today. But yeah, guys, so eBay not a great one, has earnings, but we'll put that to the side for now. Another one I see on here is Lucid. Yes, I see you guys also mentioning that in chat. We'll also look at mRNA next. But yeah, Lucid had earnings last night. And I actually saw one of these cars in the highway the other day, and looks good. You know, without driving and knowing how he actually does his thing, it looks rather interesting. You know, it doesn't look like an electric vehicle that's electric, for example. Like, you know, when the first EV started to come out, like there was an ugly one. And apologies if you have this car, but it's all opinions. It doesn't really matter. It's my opinion only. The Ford one, which was the Ford vehicle, man, that was one ugly car. That first one that came out. Not the Leaf. The Leaf is actually a little decent. It's before that, like the first. It might have been all battery, but it was it was a Ford, and it was, or a Toyota. No, it was a Toyota. Man, that I'm like, why would you buy that? It was just look so ugly. And this is where Tesla kind of did good, because when they made all the Prius, there it is, the Prius. That's the original. I think you get like 50 miles on the gallon there or something like that. It was just crazy. I mean, that was probably the only reason why you would have bought that car, because it wasn't nowhere near for its looks. But this where Tesla came in and kind of made a car look somewhat decent, right? Before that, it was pretty bad. So Lucid earnings, guys, as well. It looks like this morning, and man, they're looking good. 4 million shares traded right now. They're down 13.5. That is a big drop. I like Lucid today. The one thing I don't like about Lucid is, you know, the price. The price is pretty low. I would prefer to be a little bit higher. But nevertheless, today they're looking really nice here. Oh, hard to borrow. That's not nice. That's not good. So we don't have shares for sure, which I definitely don't like that, because I would like to be able to trade this both ways. So that's a negative on that. So definitely not liking that this morning. Daniel says the Prius 2023 looks great now. Yeah, haven't really seen that one. I have to take a look. I have to pull that up. So yeah, like, guys, Lucid is in play. I'm going to put as a possible. I don't like the fact that we don't have shares for short when they're gapping down 13.5. I mean, are we going to go and test some of the recent lows down here to 620? 620, right? Are we going to do that? So yeah, Leonardo, Jared is completely okay and advanced. So yeah, no, Jared is good. He is actually taking care of some issues that came up that needs his attention this morning. So he'll be back. Hopefully he's able to make up the session tomorrow. I mean, we look forward to his insights. But if not, he'll be back on Monday. Usually he's off on Fridays. Today's Thursday, right? Let me not put my foot in my mouth. I've been messing that up all week. Today is Thursday. Yeah, so maybe if it's not tomorrow, he'll be back on Monday. So okay, excellent. So yeah, so Lucid as a possible for now. Again, not a big fan. Any other earnings play, guys? Let's focus on earnings first. NVIDIA is on here, so that's good. Baba was on this, so that's good. Jonathan, thank you for Lucid. That's good as well. AMD? No, AMD had earnings? Really? No. AMD didn't have earnings. So no, that already, yeah, that's not on here. mRNA I see on there. mRNA, let's take a look at that. So we'll focus on earnings first, and AMD, I'm sure, will be a one that we'll take a look at. I like to drop on mRNA. This guy's been getting pretty crushed here the last couple of weeks. Like middle of January, they started heading down towards this 160 level, which they found support in the past, but now you're dropping here 4.2, 205. So yeah, this is interesting. mRNA, the issue with them is the spread at times could be a little bit too high for my liking. You know, and that creates a very weird price action, right? So that's not good for us. Let's put it as a possible here. We will see how that gets going in a couple of minutes. But even when I seen more volume out of this one, which, by the way, for our earnings play, volume is very light. Just kind of tells you what kind of stock this is. It is a tough trader. It really is. It's not the same mRNA that we used to see back a year or 2 years ago, maybe, right? Not the same stock for sure. All right, let's take a look at Etsy also on deck. Let's see Etsy this morning. See what we have going on there. Yeah, man, look at the volume. It's extremely light. So this earning as well. Earnings, Etsy. I don't see it on my list for earnings for today. I mean for yesterday. I don't see it on here, but doesn't mean that it's not. Could be a good one, but no, definitely not on my earnings calendar right now that I'm looking at. But doesn't look all that great though, man. It's up here 3.5, and for the most part, I don't see a whole lot of volume happening on this one. Nvidia is going to be the one today, guys. Yeah, Nvidia and Baba, both of these are going to be really good, and we're on early, so there might be some pre-market opportunities on these things. Just be careful if you're doing that. You can see here Nvidia hitting the high of the day, man, up nicely and almost 11% from the close. I mean, this is rocking and rolling this morning, guys. Nvidia is looking very, very nice. Looking forward to trading this one today. I think we're going to get some really good opportunities on it. Just be mindful that we might get some kind of crazy app opening action with just the sheer number of volume that's going to pour into this thing. Just be very careful with that and just kind of wait for it to settle down if we need to. We might need to wait maybe 15 minutes or so. You'd be surprised what 15 minutes does to a stock that's so heavily in play today, like an Nvidia, right? You wait 15 minutes, it can settle down and create some kind of trend. And then we'll see see if we can take advantage of that. So, all right, excellent. What else we have here? So that's NVIDIA is good. I got a message from Peter here. He's still not able to connect through vMix. So let's see if there's anything else we can do on our end. But for the most part, everything is as it is usually. So let me see here. Let me see if there's anything else I could do on my end, Peter, for you. But yeah, everything looks good. I have a ready signal here and everything. So not sure why that is happening. Let me give you a different link, right? We tried different ways to try to get at this. And then this link, you will have to put in an extra step here. So let me do that. Let me send you this, see if this works. Because we need Peter today. We need Peter to come in and tell us about his is it 10 to 1 or 1 to 10 strategy. Um, I think this is the system trying to prevent you from sharing that strategy with us this morning. We left some people waiting yesterday when the mic out of nowhere got cut off on Peter, right? So I think the system is preventing Peter from trying to get on and share his secrets here. LUNR, guys, not a good one. Advanced, I mean, yeah, it was crazy yesterday, really crazy yesterday. I mean, guys, 4.2 million, right? And we're going from 40 to 140 almost. That is some wow stuff. Let's go look at that action. Actually, very interesting here. Yeah, this is scary here. You could get caught. I could only imagine what the spread was on this one here when you're trading, 22,000 shares and moving like this. Your highest candle on the 5 minute was 110, right? So when you have something like that, that spread is not going to be pretty, right? Already this morning, you're seeing almost a 53-cent spread, even more because you can't count this, right? This is a dollar, almost a dollar 50 cents here. You can't count that. You got to go all the way down to where you are actually seeing some bids, right? Some full size orders there. That's 100 shares, 200 shares, and then here you have basically nothing under 100. So it was $3 the spread. That's wild. That's wild. So you take 100 shares and you're down $300. Is that what we're talking about here? Mm, that is insane. Oh, it looks like Peter is on. I see you connected, Peter. Let me see. Uh, I think we might have Peter. Hold on. I thought I saw some connection there, but I'm not seeing it now. Um, Yeah, Peter, I showed you logged in at 8:22. So try it again on the original link. It might be working now. Um, is the podcast coming out today? So me and Thor did record the podcast. There he is. Let's make sure we have your volume good to go.
Hold on.
Oh, yeah,
Here
we
we
got you
go.
loud and clear, my friend.
Oh
Good
my
morning, Peter.
goodness.
Hope you're doing well, my friend.
Oh man, I was like lost in the ether. It was like I was floating
In the
around, no
metaverse.
anchors.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's right. I was in the metaverse. I had no legs. It was terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're glad to have you,
Uh,
my friend. Guys, for those that are joining and are seeing some unfamiliar faces at this hour of the morning, Jared had to take care of some stuff this morning that came up last minute. Everything's okay. It's just some issues he had to take care of. He'll be back with us on Monday if he doesn't make up this session on tomorrow, which is Friday. Normally he is off. So yeah. So
I had to
someone
use
asked, yeah.
the advanced link, just so you know, Carlos. It was so
Hmm?
I'm using a
What was?
different. I don't know. Apparently, I could share a screen now, but
Oh, yeah, we're gonna test that later.
but
That's gonna
anyways,
take us to the next
the
level there.
regular link didn't work. I had to find an option to pick an advanced link. But anyways,
Hmm,
all right, here we are. Yeah,
interesting.
look, I had so much I wanted to talk about this morning, and now it took me
Well,
so
we
long.
got time. We're 5 minutes early from our original start time, right? We've gone through
Yeah.
some stuff already. So yeah, so we could
Well,
definitely get into some things here.
let's do some Jared like stuff. Let's talk about the markets yesterday because we had
Yeah.
some news yesterday, and it was actually ended up in an interesting result. So yesterday we had the FOMC minutes that came out, and as always, right, we see a little bit of a bop in the volume. If we check out the SPY, like on a 5 minute chart, for example, for yesterday, you can we can absolutely see where the minutes came out. Here we go, because you can see that. Look at how the volume picked up right midday there, right? And we interestingly saw a bunch of candles with big wicks, no bodies. So basically, the price it dropped, it went up, it dropped again, and went back up, and then we see the little bit of a sell off towards the end of the day. Frankly, all in all, not a massive reaction. Now, not a surprise because there wasn't much new in the minutes. The key takeaway from that was that I think the majority of the FOMC members voted for a 25 basis point increase, so a 0.25% increase. A couple of them were pushing for a 0.5% increase, but overall, sort of to the same, the same information that we already had. I think it was Bullard that was, sort of came out and said that he was one of those that was pushing for the 0.5% increase. So, again, it just sort of confirmed what we knew in the market. Overall, then, if we go back to the daily chart, I'm pushing Carlos around here. We can see that really what ended up happening is we more or less ended the day flat. We were down a little bit on the SPY. We were, I think, just about even or slightly green on the Qs. But all in all, we didn't move the market significantly. So that sort of shows that the market was calm and comfortable with the guidance that was provided. Now, today we're going to have two Fed speakers. Now, and normally I wouldn't pay attention to them. You can see I've got them on there 10:50 and 2 o'clock. We've got the Atlanta and San Francisco Fed speakers come. They're just making a speech wherever they're making a speech. And normally that will not affect the market. We've got a little bit of I guess I'll be watching it a little closer than normal because I do think that, if they say anything that's not in line with that guidance we just saw in the formal FOMC minutes, meaning probably we're heading towards a 0.25% increase on the next rate release, maybe it'll be 0.5. But if they suggest anything different than that, we could see some greater market reaction. But frankly, I don't expect them to stray from the speaking notes too much. So we'll keep an eye on that. Coming up in a couple of minutes, we'll have the jobless claims and the Q4 GDP, neither of which I think will have a big impact on the markets. But it is sort of interesting that we were, again, closed the day sort of just pretty flat. And then today we're seeing a little bit of a gap up. So, maybe we'll get a slightly positive day, but, you just never know these days exactly where the market's going to go, which is why I always wait, till we get clear direction once the market opens. The big news for me today is really on earnings, and Carlos was already talking about that. So, a couple of
Yeah. Yeah.
interesting things going on there. Carlos, as you're raising, I'm not even sure where to start. Maybe we start with the small one. Lucid, I thought was interesting. You were talking about Lucid. I love the look of their cars, by the way.
They,
I'm
they
a
look
car guy.
good. They look good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They are good looking. Now, Lucid, had earnings. They missed on revenue, but beat on earnings. But frankly, we have to keep in mind this is still an early stage manufacturing type play, right? Like, I mean, they produced more cars than anticipated, which means that they actually produced what, like 7,000 cars, 7,180 vehicles on a full year basis in 2022. I mean, that's nothing, right? Like,
Yeah.
we have to remember, this is like they are following very closely the path that Tesla did early stages. 7,000 cars in production is nothing, right? Keep in mind something like, I mean, nowadays, I don't even know what Tesla's producing, what, 100,000 cars a year, and Ford and GM produce, I don't know, 5 or 6 million cars a year. So something like that. I'm making those numbers up because I don't know for sure. But bottom line is, it's very small. Their
It's small.
production
Yeah.
guidance for 2023 is somewhere between 10 and 14,000 vehicles. So that's doubling. So, that's a big growth in their manufacturing capacity, their ability to produce, but still, that's not a lot of cars. But it is interesting that they're sort of demonstrating that you can still get vehicle growth. Oh, Tesla was even higher, 1.3 million there. Thank you. So they're even bigger than I thought. And
Wait, Tesla's 1.3 million? Really? Wow,
yeah, I didn't know they were making that many, but
I'm gonna
it's a
have to
green
look that
machine.
up.
That's a green machine
Really?
says.
We believe him. Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, so the point is that it's more that they're indicating that the industry is healthy, right? They're producing the vehicles. They still have a backlog. The chip, if you remember that big chip shortage, which was causing delays, is not being talked about in the auto manufacturing side now. That's so largely behind us. So, Lucid, could see some rise, and the whole sector might see some interest, renewed interest, because, just the positive news without the hint of the downside is good. Now, let me. There you go.
It's a good looking car, man.
Lucid Air.
This is actually the one I saw. This same color, which is really nice, like a mocha type color.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We do have some of the economic news that came out. The GDP numbers came out, pretty much. Just slightly under expectations, 2.7%, whereas the expected was 2.9. I show the previous different than what Abiel's reporting here. He's showing 3.2 previous. I show it was 2.9 previously as well. But anyways, either way, slightly lower. And you see the market got a little bit of drop because with GDP growth down, that's causing a little bit of a drag. I expect that to be short term, but we'll see what transpires over the next little bit, right? We haven't even gone below the morning pre-market low. If we do, that's when we'll keep an eye on it. If we start to drop below that pre-market, yeah, exactly, right there, Carlos, on the SPY, then we might want to take notes, because we might start to see a further sell-off. But right now it's sitting good. The other one that I really wanted to talk about was, you mentioned Baba, which is good, but NVIDIA. NVIDIA is an interesting for a couple of reasons to me. They obviously have been the largest growing chip company, at least from a stock perspective, in the last little while. I think they're up a little over 42% over the last year. And they had positive earnings in this quarter. They raised their guidance full year. And what's interesting is that the analyst chatter is more about how their big bet on AI is starting to pay off. NVIDIA is now becoming a good example of a secondary industry that gets a boost from the play. So they're not necessarily producing the next chat bot. They're not going to be a chat NVIDIA coming out here, but they're producing the chips that enable it. Just like NVIDIA got a big boost when we had so many people trying to do cyber currency mining, right? So I think NVIDIA is well poised. They seem to be good at positioning their chips against these sectors, and so that they can take advantage of the hype. So we may see some continued growth in NVIDIA. I think the general good news there is going to cause some some positivity in the entire sector. I think I'm seeing pretty much every chip company green so far in the pre-market, with Nvidia up the most at 10. I think right now they're up 10.7%. So that's a pretty big jump for Nvidia. On a daily chart, Nvidia is looking pretty interesting too. Look how we're sitting right here at the highs that was set earlier this month. And if we break out the top side here over 20, 30, and 20, 30, 50 cents, that's what I'd be looking for. Then we could see some continued rise here. But there is a gap. Don't forget, there's like a good $10, $12 gap here that we've now created between today's, what it looks like we're going to open today and yesterday. So anyways, interesting news. Nvidia, I think for sure, is going on my list, and we'll see what happens. While I've been talking, we've had the second element of the morning economic news come out. The jobless claims are out, and I think jobless claims are a little bit lower. Estimate was 197. We're coming out at 192, so pretty much on target, just slightly lower. So whereas the GDP being lower is generally bad, jobless claims being lower from a market perspective is generally good. Except keep in mind, right, that the Fed is looking for there to be slightly higher unemployment. So, if that continues to slide lower, then they may raise rates. So anyways, it can cause a mixed response in the market. You notice we're seeing a little bit of a rise now, whereas the SPY dropped on the GDP. It's rising here on the jobless claims, but not by much, right? A much smaller amount. So anyways, so that's where we're at on the economic news. I said, for me, I know we're a little bit later we'll go through our gappers, but for sure Nvidia to me takes top slot this morning, because we'll see what happens. So we are like 8:36. I guess we can get into starting with our gappers. We'll go through that and get into our regular schedule.
Yeah, definitely Nvidia on deck. I mean, up 10%. It's looking great right now. And then Baba too. I have Baba here. We'll see how that does. Yeah, guys, our gappers list pretty long this morning. Let's take a look at some of the stuff that's leading the way here. LUNR, we looked at this earlier, guys. Doesn't look good. Wild stuff yesterday, 4,200, almost 140. This morning already up 20% with just an atrocious garbage pre-market activity. So definitely be careful with that if you're going to be trading that. I mean, the spread on that has to be, it's $3 right now, almost $3 at the moment. So just tells you how horrible that can be. Definitely avoid that at all costs. Here's the ENVX. This was not a great trade. I think this was a higher price. We might have traded it before. The ticker sounds familiar, but for the most part, not looking great today. Up 10%, 13%, 826,000. I honestly think we're going to find stuff that looks a little bit better than this, especially with the earnings stuff we got going on, especially with the minutes that we just talked about here. Hopefully, the most important thing for us as day traders is for this to start trending somewhere and not get stuck here. I mean, the SPY has been a huge help for us as far as day trading and finding multiple opportunities, man. When this thing is doing something like it did yesterday and the day before, especially, right? When you have these really wild days like this, right? Which we're not used to seeing these big days in the past, like a year and a half ago, a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, or even before when I started. We're not used to seeing this day after day, the SPY moving, 3, 4, 5%. It's just, it didn't happen. Now it's just a regular occurrence, right? So that helps us a ton when we have these kind of trends. So hopefully the SPY doesn't get stuck in this range here and does nothing, because then our usual suspects will get stuck just like that and not give us an opportunity. I don't think it's going to be the case for Nvidia or Baba, right? They have earnings, they have tons of volume. I think this guy's going to move one way or the other. OCEA, no, this looks so bad. No. This looks so bad. Low float with just no great pre-market action.
Give us a proper response to that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no. Nvidia here, guys, we talked about quite a bit. We're both, oh man, it just continues. Peter, I think it might get over that. It did actually 230.
Yeah, it's over the $230.50 mark, which is what I was looking at. So it's looking strong this morning. So it's
it's going here.
It's doing
we'll
good.
see how it goes. Hopefully not too extended. VIPS we've seen plenty of times, so it doesn't trade very well. We usually avoid it. You can see here how spready. It's just again not a great pre-market activity at all. Baba we spoke about because earnings as well this morning. You can see how great they're trading there. So that is on deck. We're set there. AMD. How about so Peter? This talks about the semis probably reacting as a sympathy play to Nvidia, right? Nvidia obviously leading the way here, 11%. AMD is up 4.3%, 520,000. So I think that could be a good one also.
Yeah, AMD, it is really just a sympathy play this morning. The other thing that I didn't mention that I should have, we have to keep in mind that there was an announcement from the White House a while back about their big investment in semiconductors. Remember, they're going to help fund the industry. They're worried about the CHIPS Act, right? The Chips and Science Act, which is providing about 50 billion worth of seed funding for chip manufacturing onshore in the US to protect national interests, and they're looking to try and grow that. So where that money goes is not yet decided. There was some news yesterday from I don't know, Gina Raimondo, from, I don't know, she's Secretary of Commerce, sort of suggesting that they're already sort of making plans about where that money will be distributed. So that's in the background. That is not a short term item, anyways, but it's certainly a boon for the sector. So we have to keep that in mind as well. That with the U.S. government saying that they're going to fund onshore manufacturing and a little investment in the sector, that's going to give things like AMD, NVIDIA, Intel a little bit more tailwinds.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. See AMD here breaking out from the pre-market highs at the moment, up 4.3 with some good volume. I'm gonna add that on deck as well. Guys, if you haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up over on YouTube. We appreciate it very, very much. We're going to try today to get to 250. So if you can help us do that, let's get there. We're at 82 right now, which is a little bit lower than what we would like. So yeah, let's get to that at 250 if we can. Really appreciate it. And it does help out the show quite a bit. So thank you for that. Heading down back to the gappers, it's Billy here. Billy hasn't been the same. Billy's no love for Billy. It really doesn't trade that well. So I'm gonna keep it off my list. Peter, unless you have anything worth watching, Billy here. I
No,
don't.
Billy,
Yeah,
you're right. They've been sort of a laggard here in the space.
yeah.
They used to trade really really well. We love to look at them almost every day, but yeah, they're just sort of they're just falling along behind and in a poor fashion. The Babas and even Baidu's been sort of better at in the way it moves.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. So yeah, so there's Billy, not great. Etsy, we looked at earlier. Etsy's tough to trade. The price action is weird. I know they had earnings last night. We could see that here. But yeah, they're a tough ticker, man. They just don't get the volume. And I think today with the company we were in, Bob, Nvidia, AMD, and we haven't even looked at some of our usual suspects like the number one. Peter, I'm sure you would know which one this is. And it's not AMD. Let me give you a hint. It's not AMD.
Just on Etsy, I can't help think. I can't hear Etsy without
Yeah.
thinking of Norm, and I think because Norm went on some rant about Etsy and their homemade goth gear or something at some point. Like this is like 3 years ago. So every time I think of Etsy, I think of Norm buying some like jack boots and somebody's homemade goth crafts or something. So,
Steampunk.
anyways, yeah, yeah, steampunk. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah. Oh man, Norm
Anyways,
is in
but you're
chat
right.
this morning. There
E-
in YouTube.
Yeah, Etsy's hard to trade. They
Yeah,
did
it's
have
tough.
earnings. They mixed earnings anyways. They beat on revenue, missed on their earnings per share. So, again, I'm not hitting the top of my list for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Tesla, guys, another one that obviously our usual suspects on deck. I'm sure that was going to be one to watch this morning. Not looking so hot this pre-market right now. A little bit of some sideways action. It is up 1.3, but this thing manages to trade very well. And by the way, here, guys, I was using Tesla yesterday in our replay simulator. And man, our replay simulator, Peter, I'm sure you've been on it quite a bit as well. It is so good. The price action is actually, I'm impressed how accurate we can do the price action, not just the actual candles, but the way it moves. Because you can
Yeah.
kind of see how things are shaping out and actually read the price action. So definitely check it out, guys. Really good. Tradingterminal.com. You can take advantage of that. TMS, well, no, TMS, no, TSM. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Again,
TSM semi,
I
right?
think
Yeah,
this is
semi.
just yeah, Taiwan Semiconductor. Again, I think it's just sort of riding on the coattails of the Nvidia and market news.
Yep, yep. So we'll skip on that. PDD, we're getting to some Chinese tickers here, guys. My big one is going to be Battle for today on earnings, but we do have PDD here. Which again, I'm going to skim through this pretty quickly. JD, see if I find anything that looks great, or Peter, if we have anything with some news on the Chinese front. But I see all of them are gapping up, which not surprisingly, when you had a day like Baidu yesterday, you had 150 to 136. Not surprised you're getting a little bit of a breathing room there. That was horrible. Um, but yeah, a lot of them gapping up slightly this morning after a bad day yesterday. But I don't see great volume on any of them that we just went through. So I'm just gonna stick with
No,
Baba for right now.
I don't have any specific news. I think that the general feeling is a little more positive again. Like I mentioned, I think it was yesterday, with
Hmm.
the Chinese government easing some of the restrictions they were putting on these companies. That's just seen as a boon. These tend to bounce back no matter what. I mean, they have
Yeah,
large. Global investment in them. Billy, like we were talking about, maybe not a great day trader, but they have massive like institutional investment. Something like 43% of their stock is owned by big funds. So these things are incorporated into a lot of funds around the world. So there's a lot of incentive to keep them strong. So yeah, Billy, Baidu, Baba, PDD, JD, those
yeah.
would be the big ones that I typically watch in this sector.
Yeah, yeah. We just it just fell off. We had Mara and another one with some really high short interest. It just fell off the scanners here. But be on the lookout for those. We're seeing some movement there this morning. All right, let's see what's gapping down today. So
Cool.
we have Lucid, guys, down 12.6. Peter, and you kind of spoke about this already. I mean, they're just getting crushed this morning. 5 million shares traded. I have it as a possible. Where are you going to put this today, Peter? You going to put it on your main list? Where do you
I've
have
got to.
Lucid?
I don't know. I definitely going to watch it. I'm not sure yet whether it's going to make the main list. I'm really surprised about the gap down. Like I mentioned, the news was all generally positive about it, right? That
Yeah,
they
yeah.
exceeded their production numbers. They increased their production numbers for next year. They beat on most revenues. They missed on revenue, but I mean their revenue isn't huge, so I don't consider it a huge problem. So
Yeah, yeah,
the fact that it's sliding down here in the pre-market, it might be an opportunity because it might reverse that once we open. I don't know, but I'm going to wait until we get closer. Sometimes around 9:10, 9:15, they reveal themselves as to where they're going to go. If the volume keeps up, though, that would be the best sign, right? That Lucid might be a
yeah,
good in-place stock for today.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, let's take a look at the next one here. Wayfair, W is down actually 8.4, 314,000. This is not a great trader, but once in a while, they actually do some pretty interesting stuff. And today they're down 7.6 here, and not just down 7.6, they're losing some of the ground here at level 50. So that's interesting. That has been an area of support for them for some time, about a week or so. We're losing that now. So that could actually be nice this morning for a potential short, which we do have with Interactive Brokers. So yeah, gonna put that as a secondary there. Let's see if we can continue to get some good volume out of this one. And Peter, was this earnings? I don't.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was earnings. Wayfair is a fascinating one to me because to me they were like one of the underlooked stocks when we had the whole COVID jump. If you look at the daily, if you go back or you look at the weekly, we have to keep in mind that this is coming back now to a level where they were back in 2016, 17, and that spike right up there. I mean, that spike goes up to what, $700, I think.
It's
What's the
wild.
high here?
I'm showing 400, but it could be more. It doesn't seem to end there. Could be more.
I've got a, oh yeah, what's going on here? The spike on the chart goes higher than the numbers actually indicates it goes to. So I don't know, but
Yeah,
anyways,
it's,
but the
it's
point is,
infinity.
it was up significantly higher, right? That whole period, it just look at the rise that we got early 2020 up into those levels, and now we're back to sort of where we were, right, at the sort of pandemic point of view, and then back to the levels we were 2016, 17. So W may, I don't know if it's going to play today because it's not a great intraday player, but
Hmm.
for swing traders or longer term, this is something to watch at these levels because Wayfair's got
Yeah.
to sort of prove that they're going to bounce here, or there may be trouble ahead if they drop this level.
Yeah, yeah. Let's take a look at BBWI. Doesn't look good for day trading at the moment, guys. Very, very light volume, not a great pre-market activity. U is another one that pops up on our list more often than not, but I really stay away from it. I just don't like the way this one trades at all. Um, so not one that I keep on deck. And we have TDOC, which TDOC is, it's weird, man. It's weird. We've seen some movements on this, and they tend to do that with very, very light volume. Again, not one that I'm a fan of. And then we have mRNA. I have this on my secondary list. I think their pre-market activity today actually looks very good. They're down 4.2. They got 283,000 shares traded. Their spread at times could be a little bit funky, so be on the lookout for that. If that does not get better at the market open, then I won't be touching this one. But I like the drop we're getting here. We are definitely losing some ground on this one the last couple well, a month or so, a month and a half there. All right, excellent. That
And
covers our gappers list. Peter, what do you have on deck? Do you like this morning?
well, pretty much everything I was looking at got mentioned. We moved over TDoc. It's right at the bottom there. They also had earnings. Yeah, I think we hit it all. I mean, really, I really want to watch. I'm going to be watching Nvidia because they feel like sort of the best mover and best opportunity here. I mean, look at this. We're back up here at 233 now.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's top of my list. I mean, I hate to say it, but I like watch. I think I'm going to like watching it this morning even more so than AMD. So we'll see.
Is
We'll see
AMD
what
going to be on your secondary list? Is the question.
happens. I won't go that far. I'm not sure I'm ready to do that yet, but
Yeah, yeah.
but
Uh,
certainly we'll put
let's
it up there.
let's take a look at what you guys are watching this morning. So let's take it over to the chat. Anything that's not on this list, guys, that you guys are interested in, let's take a look at it. Lucid, we have Ross D giving us CCL. I don't think CCL has done much for us in a long, long time. They had this rally here with the airlines as well. If you guys remember, they did very well here, and a lot of the airlines also. I think it was around the same time frame. Let's look at American Airlines. Yeah, there you go. So some of these travel companies did very well there. Then they just been sideways for the most part. And if you remember CCL, while they were doing this, they were still not trading great. I mean, their intraday action was still pretty bad. So I don't expect them to do anything today as far as some good movements, right? Um,
Yeah,
but
CCL. I've largely, well, not largely. I've completely stopped watching it. I watched it for a good year after the fun was over. Its heyday was really back at the beginning of COVID
yes.
when, right? Because they were like one of the first industries impacted, as everybody was
Hmm.
calling their floating petri dishes, and people were ships were stuck because no one was willing to let them dock because they were afraid that they were
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
they had zombies on them and they weren't gonna anyways, it was crazy, right? People
It was
like
wild.
these reports coming of people living in these terrible living conditions because the staff had abandoned ship and they were all the passengers were left over. Like it was just crazy. So
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
early 2020, these things were dropping and they were great short traders like almost every single day.
Hmm.
But and then I kept watching them for forever, and like you said, Carlos, they really have not traded well since.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can see right back early 2020. Look at the drop, right? When they were up in the $50. I mean, I can't even remember CCL as a $50 stock, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
because we've been down here trading somewhere between 5 and 20 or whatever to
Yeah.
30.
But you know what? The funny thing is, though, even before this drop, when COVID and everything else, even before that, they gave you. I mean, they were just not doing well. Period. Right? They gave you
Yeah,
some really good days. I mean, look at these drops here constantly.
yeah,
They gave you some really good plays. They're not even doing that anymore. They're pretty bad as far as
yeah.
trading. So, yeah, we'll skip on that one for now. Let's take a look at anything else, guys. What you guys have on deck this morning? I believe I saw someone put coin on here. Yeah, Bridget from Twitter. I mean, not from Twitter, from YouTube is giving us coin. So coin this morning. Here we are. Yeah, coin is up 1.3. I saw Mara was on a gap up list a while ago. They disappeared and they're not back. But yeah, this can be in play today. It just has disappointed the last couple of days. It really hasn't done much as far as intraday trades that I like to see on my strategy. We're not getting continuation. Look at these beautiful days here. We're not getting that. We're getting a bunch of very high wicks here, which is a little bit tougher to trade. Usually leads to a lot of choppiness. But this clean continuation, you're not seeing that in the last couple of days on coins. So I'm gonna stay away for that one from now. And again, our list might be short today: Baba, Nvidia, AMD, and of course Tesla. But these all have great potential to do some really great stuff today.
Yeah.
Um,
I see Stefan mentioning mRNA, and yes, they had earnings. We
yeah,
didn't really talk about it. The volume is relatively low. You know, these are one of the ones that I personally be careful with, because
yeah,
mRNA was another example of one that traded great during the pandemic. You know, with the news of them developing a COVID vaccine, they were in that hunt. You know, when everybody, if you just said you were developing a COVID vaccine, all of these stocks were rising. I mean, they were a
yeah,
heavy player in this industry and had a lot of volume and interest. The problem is that that volume and thus the interest has generally slacked off. So, I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
yeah, their numbers are down. Vaccine, you know, numbers aren't where they used to be. You know, they still have a good balance of business, but I don't know that they trade well enough that you're going to be able to get good, consistent moves. You know, they tend to be a little spreadier nowadays as a
yeah.
stock, and I find the moves not very smooth or predictable because, again, that trading interest has largely left mRNA. So if you like trading it, by all means, it definitely has news. It had earnings today, so you know, you put it on your list, but I probably won't be watching it.
Yeah, yeah, I remember mRNA during those times, man. A lot of fun. Just the sheer number of volume, like you said, helped a lot with that spread. Um, all right, guys, excellent. I don't see anything else from you guys in chat. LNG, ain't that is that ETF? What is this? Energy. Yeah, so it's an energy ticker here. Man, I don't know. I would be concerned trading something like this. This is probably good if someone is probably swing trading it, I would think. Not day trading
Yeah.
this, right? I mean, the volume is just not there, guys. So
LNG, man, they snapped the good symbol there, liquefied natural gas. Eh? But anyways, this is actually
mhm,
a gas, an oil and gas company out of the
yeah,
U.S. They had, I think this is an earnings play. I'm just looking it up now here, but
yeah,
looks like they had some positive earnings. Again, right, you know, I'll just keep saying it. This sector, though, I mean, Oxy is like the aberration, the exception in the sector. Almost everything. As soon as you say oil and gas or mining, I'm like, no, I'm not going to trade it. It generally doesn't
yeah.
look good. I said, Oxy, for some reason, has been the one that actually has traded relatively well over the last little while.
Yeah, yep, agree. They get good volume and can actually move pretty decent compared to everything else.
Look
Um,
at Nvidia. Should have bought that pullback.
where's Nvidia? Oh man, yeah, is this thing gonna get too extended for us by the time we're done with this show? I mean, look at this thing. It is
I
just
know. There
cranking.
was a little pullback when we were talking about it about 15 minutes ago, and I
Mm-hmm.
was tempted to jump in. It felt much like a Norm move, but
Hey,
I
no
should have
move. Yeah,
channeled
yeah,
Norm a little bit and done
yeah,
it,
yeah.
because it would
Oh
have been a great
man,
play.
it is going here, guys. We'll look at levels on the weekly here because we're going back to beginning of the year 2022 here, and you can see right there we have a couple of areas. Actually, we blew right through that already. We ran right through that. So we'll see. We'll do levels in a second here. But before we do that, guys, let's get to our community events. If you guys think of any other tickers, we can look at it in a second. But let's get to what's happening for the rest of this short week, being today, Thursday.
All right. Well, yes. What is it? It's Thursday already. I cannot believe it. Last night we had a webinar with Randy Howell. I had the opportunity to host him there, and it was a great Q&A. He provided some great insight, and like I say, it always amazes me that even after all these years, you know, I can never assume that I know enough, because I was learning stuff. He made me think about my own behaviors, and then what I need to do potentially to modify them. So it was a great session yesterday. It leads us to today, which is all about mentorship. In fact, we've got a mentorship session with Peak Capital Trading, which is where we do focused training for boot campers. And Eamon's doing a live trading session right now. Later this morning, John will be around at 11 o'clock to do a mentorship here at Bearable Traders in the webinar room. And then tonight, Thor is going to do a second mentorship session at 8 o'clock again in the webinar room. So it's all about mentorship today, and we're going to be busy all day with that. Carlos was mentioning it earlier, and it's worth mentioning every single day. This trading terminal, we keep adding functionality every single day, and we got some great new stuff that's coming. And we gave a sneak peek a little bit earlier in the broadcast, but stay tuned as more news, activity, events. We use it all morning to find the news and information that we're talking to you about. It's got ready and live updates. It's got the insider information where you can sort of see what those in the know are doing and where the sentiment is in the market, as well as, of course, the earnings calendar, the IPO calendar, the economic calendar, all of that stuff. All right. I leverage heavily every morning just to understand what's happening and how I can leverage that for my trading. So go check out tradingterminal.com. If you're interested in joining us live, we only have about a couple of tickets left. We're literally down to the last 4 or 5 seats. I know that I've got someone whom I reserved one for on Peak Capital because they want to join us. But we've got 2 days of trading events, right? Live trading, technical training, psychology webinars, live sessions with moderators. I am going to be there with some other moderators. We'll be walking around the room to help you and answer your questions. It's going to be a fantastic session. So that is the end of next week, Thursday and Friday of next week in San Diego. Beautiful location at the Hard Rock Hotel. Fantastic session. I think the Hard Rock is actually sold out, so we're now putting people across the street at the can't remember what the hotel is across the street, but it's a lovely hotel. It's just as good, but you get to come and visit with us at the Hard Rock. So, but if you wanted to join, right, grab those last couple of tickets, and we'll hopefully see you there at the end of next week in San Diego, the Hilton. There you go, Scotty. Scotty Hypnotist knows. Scotty Hypnotist knows because Scotty Hypnotist is going to be there. He's a trader, and Scott Ward, yes, he sort of gave us an impromptu performance when we were in Florida, and we went, "This is awesome. We need to have him back." So we're so happy to have him as a special guest during the social night we're having on that first evening with the dinner buffet. So that's going to be awesome. Anyways, hopefully you'll join us there. If you want to join us in the chat room, we don't only do the pre-market, right? We literally have live moderators all day, as long as the market is open from 8 in the morning, except for Fridays when it's 8:30, until the market closes at 4. We are live in the chat room with moderators sharing their trades and what they're doing. Use the code PreMarket24 to get a $24 discounted rate off of the 1-week introduction membership. Just gives you a taste. Is this for you? We're pretty sure it will be. Then you can join using a basic monthly or the elite monthly. You can see, what you get with each of those. And then if you really wanted to jump in with both feet, then your best value is the elite annual membership. We encourage you to do that. Then you can be with us all year. And I'm telling you, just the support, being part of a community. I mean, we got people calling things out all day. It's extremely valuable. I still leverage it in my trading actively every single day, as well as, of course, being a support moderator in there. So hopefully we'll see you in the chat room sometime soon.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Peter, for that. Guys, let's get to some levels and see what else is moving. Let's see how high NVIDIA is now. Let's tune into that. And we are, all right, we're coming down a little bit here. 234 seems to be the highest pre-market number now. So again, this thing just on a tear after just blowing out earnings last night. Donovan's asking, how do we maintain a positive day in and day out? I think when it comes trading is one of those things, man, that you can't let it get to you. You really have to be focusing on other things in life. Like if your happiness come from trading, then you have a big problem because you're gonna be miserable some days out of the week. So it's got to be tied into something else, man. Family, this other stuff is more important than actual trading, right? So if you think about that and you're just grateful for what you have, man, you're happy every morning. You wake up happy as hell, ready to rock and roll, and that's the way I kind of roll here. So and Peter does too. Peter's always happy. He's always running around, putting music in the morning, wearing Mardi Gras stuff whenever he can. So yeah, man, just just focus on being grateful. You know, gratitude is gonna help you a long way. A little bit off topic, but wanted to answer you, my friend, because you've been with us for a very, very long time. We appreciate you being here. All right, let's take a look at here. It's different. All right, Pandu. Yeah, we can answer that. We'll text you on that in a second. There, we can give you an answer. See, Peter's already on it. Excellent. All right, excellent, guys. Let's get to some levels here. So right now we have Baba, we have Nvidia, we have AMD and Tesla, and those are looking pretty good this morning. So let me get our daily chart instead of our weekly, and let's start setting some levels on the secondary list. Lucid, and mRNA. Again, mRNA not the best. But I don't know, man. Today, Peter, I know we don't like mRNA, but today they're we'll see. They might surprise us today. The way they're dropping here looks very interesting. Let's see. Let's see. I agree with you 100%. This is a ticker that disappoints more often than not. But let's see what it does today. Um, I know
Hope
you
springs eternal. I hope you're right.
Yes, yes. Let's see what it does. All right, guys, let's get some daily levels in here. And Peter, if you haven't, if anything good comes out, cut me off anytime here. No worries.
Will do.
101.74 is the high of the pre-market on Baba. I do like this level here too, guys. If you look at the pre-market, you do have, let's see here. You do have this one right on here, right? Very clear. It's around, might be actually 100. You know, 100 tends to be, even if you don't have it on the daily, 100 tends to be the psychological level, right? Like 200 would be. So you're seeing that there. I'm going to mark that down. And then towards the bottom, we do have our highs and lows for the last two trading days. And we're kind of, we ran through this gap down that we have here, this gap that we had here, we just ran through that. And we are just kind of hitting some highs here. So a little bit off the highs at the moment. But nevertheless, I think Bob is going to give us a great trading day, because when you see Baba do this here, this looks exciting. Normally, if you guys know how Baba works, right? Gaps up and goes sideways and then at the market open, it does this thing. We're seeing that very early on this morning. And I believe their earnings were very good. I saw that on tradingterminal.com earlier. They blew out their earnings. So looking
Yep,
good
they had
there.
good earnings indeed.
Yeah, if you look at Trading Terminal here, we have a massive earnings beat, and then the next one, Moderna. Oh, there it is. Our EV vehicle, our Lucid, in place as well, having some bottleneck, and I'm not sure who this is. Not part of trading at the moment, but yeah. All right. Let's get to what's happening here. So there it is, Baba. Nvidia, guys, this is the number one ticker today. I think it's gonna be on everybody's list. It is just, I'm on the wrong page. It is just
I
on
was going to say, I
fire.
think it's wrong screen there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is just on fire. 234 is the high of the pre-market, 234.20. We do have this 229. I think I was marking that down for the high. It's a little bit higher. It's more like around 230 or so. So we'll mark that there. You can see the breakout that we saw. That is on the daily. And then towards the bottom, I mean, our pre-market low, guys, is all the way down at 223 this morning. In between here, this level I'm going to mark next is more of a weaker level, minor level support and resistance, 226 something. So again, not a whole lot going on there. You got a little action in the pre-market in a couple of days, maybe two, in the daily as well. So not a whole lot of weight, but you see that even then you're still respecting the pre-market here somehow, right? So that's looking interesting. Peter, and don't forget, before I move on, we need to do that strategy 10 to 1 today.
Yes. Oh, right. I did promise it yesterday. So, yes,
Yes,
absolutely. Let's
yes.
do that.
Brian on YouTube came on. The first thing he said before he said good morning was, "Where's Peter with his strategy?" And I'm like, okay, it's coming, it's coming. So there's Nvidia. Here's AMD, guys. So AMD sympathy play with Nvidia, but looking really good as well. So 80.43 is the high of the pre-market here. We see that being tested there as well, and slightly not 100% on the dime there, but pretty close. 83.33 is another level we have up here. And then over here, we also have 82.25. So it's a couple of days opening, a little bounce here, very close to it. Not quite, but again, you got some action there as well, which is a good midpoint too, right? Because from 80 now all the way to 83, 83.33, you are going to find a spot where people are going to say, you know what? I got to take some profits, and most likely it's going to be around this 82. In fact, hopefully it does that so we can go back tomorrow and see if that's what it took place. Low of the pre-market 78.90, and that sets us up for AMD, which will be on Peter's secondary list today because Nvidia is taking over. Here is Tesla.
No, calm down.
Peter's gave me the no, 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 no there. Here is Tesla 204.12, guys, looking pretty good there. Man, that is some resistance they're seeing here in the pre-market. They try to get above this quite a bit and have not been able to. So they're really struggling since 4 a.m. this morning. So I'm not sure there's a big seller there, what's going on, but they're struggling to get above that level right now. And towards the bottom, the low of the pre-market is going to be at 202.50. We will slam a level there. And then slightly above that, the next big level is the one that's already marked here. It is the high from 2 days ago. This is around 210. In between here, right? We're going to try to find a level in here somewhere. And, this is the best one right there. 206, 206.23 off the daily. Seems really good. They got 2 touches. Everything else is off the mark. It's not really right on it. So I think that'll be the one that most traders will be looking at, because again, these levels, they got to stick out. If you're the only one with a level, that's the problem. So don't look too hard for these levels. If you're searching and doing math and doing all kinds of calculations to find the daily level, there's something that could be wrong there, right? Because we all need to be able to see the exact same thing for it to be a something that actually ends up working out. All right, that's it. Baba, Nvidia, AMD, Tesla, and I am going to go ahead and hand it over to Peter. Peter will be talking about the strategy that he looks for. This happened yesterday. Peter got a call. His mic went off. I think they called him and say, "Hey, don't talk about the secret strategy." So hopefully that doesn't happen today. Peter, do you have something for me to pull up?
I don't have any material prepared, so I'll just have to talk to it. If you're a Bear Bull Traders member, I will tell you this: we did a bunch of shorts on our strategies in the Education Center. If you go in, I'm doing it right now. If you look up 1 to 10, like one, let me just see. Maybe not. Hold on, I'll find it. I'll find the link for you, and make sure I get it to you because I know we posted it. Somewhere in here, a brief on the strategies so that you could take a look at it because they're pretty cool. Day trading. I know it's under day trading strategies. There it is. 1 to 10 strategy. So I'll give you the link. You can watch this. It's I think 7 minutes. Yeah, 7.5 minutes. It'll give you everything you need to know about the 110. But let me tell you what it is quickly. At 350, so 10 minutes until the close every single day, we often see an increase in volume. This is generally because institutional trading has a number of backlog of orders over the course of the day that they need to close out. So I will trade a 1 to 10 trade specifically on large cap stocks where you would have large institutional trading that would create a backlog. So specifically, I typically only trade it on Tesla, Apple, AMD, maybe Nvidia, Microsoft, stocks like that, right? They have to be big stocks with lots of volume. Oh, look at that. There you go. And what I'm looking for is, just like Carlos shows on the screen, we're looking for a candle that generally has a small body and ends up with a big wick. I want to basically trade in the direction of the short-term trend, determine where that short-term trend is, and then go with it. So like this example that you would see here, the short-term trend, clearly AMD is on a downswing right there. I want to see a slight increase in volume over the previous minute. This all happens very quickly. Right at 350, you see the volume and you see this candle sort of spike here. I would then take a short entry on this with a very tight stop. The great advantage of the strategy is you know exactly when it happens and you know the signals you're looking for. If the signals don't happen, you don't take the trade. If we don't see an increase in volume and you don't see the price spike, you're out, right? Don't take it. But if you do, then you can get in, stop above the top of the wick once you see the price hesitation, and then you would, in this case, partial all the way down into the close. So yesterday, I think we were able to get a trade on, what did we trade? Apple, I think yesterday was the one that Mike and I did. Tesla was yesterday. Apple was on Tuesday. So there are opportunities out there. We do watch for it every single day, and we trade it. There's just a little more to it, but the bottom line, 350 every day. Look for a spike in volume. You need to basically take it against that volume and hope the trend will reestablish and continue into the close. That's it.
All right, excellent. There you go, guys. A little sneak peek of what that is. And guys, if you're a member, take advantage. If you go to strategy here, you have all of these, right? With similar setup that we just showed you, obviously a lot more detail, but here are all the strategies that our moderators trade, right? So come in here, take advantage. Very, very strategic courses. We have up to 12, right? I mean, you definitely could find something that you are able to trade successfully. So take advantage of that over there on our education center. I think my camera gave out because I've been on for so long and it wasn't fully charged. So it has said bye-bye to me here, I believe. Yes, it's gone. It's okay. It did okay for today. Guys, coming up on 9:15, we are set on levels. We are set on what we're watching today. Over on YouTube, guys, if you haven't done so already, we want to hit our 250. So we're at 197. I know we could do it. If you could help us there, that is greatly, greatly appreciated. Here is all right, we got some stuff going on here. Before we hand it off to Brian, I see Tesla is just broke out of that 204. We knew that was going to be explosive because, I mean, we were struggling all morning with this, right? That 204.10 there. And just look at the pop we got there. Breaks out and then the volume comes in, man. Really, really nice. I wish we would have saw. I know we don't have the market open yet, but I wish we would have saw the level 2 there to see if any orders were piling up on the ask. But yeah, that turned out really nice. Let's take a look at NVIDIA heading back towards the high of the pre-market as well, breaking out here nicely. Man, it is setting up to be a really, really good day. And as you can see, I am on there. Somehow Peter got my face going.
And now I'm back. So yeah, I want to make sure
yeah.
people know, that who's talking, and
that is not an AI chat GPT talking to here. Is actually us. Excellent.
So it's our advanced graphics we've got going on here. So there you go.
Yeah. Guys, Brian is up next. Let me show you our moderators list before we get out of here. And that is going to be right over here. Yeah, there it is. So we have Thor will be looking at NVIDIA, Wind, Tesla, and the Mesh and the MNQ H3s here. Are those Hummer vehicles? Are those Hummer model numbers? I don't know what that is. I forgot to check yesterday. Peter's looking at his list. AMD, you put AMD first in front of NVIDIA somehow.
I had to do it, man. I couldn't.
Lucid, of course, is looking good this morning. We have Tesla, Baba, and W as well on a secondary list. No IPOs, no SPACs for today. Mike, NVIDIA, and Tesla. Megan will be looking at NVIDIA and AMD as well. So, guys, we are set for today. Go ahead, Peter.
Yeah, and one thing I want to say, we're all looking at NVIDIA. Don't make an assumption as to which direction NVIDIA is going to go, right? It is up 12.5%. It's been up slightly higher already this morning. We don't know. At the open, when the bell rings, this thing could drop heavily. It could shoot up. Let the market tell you what's happening, right? Don't make, some broad assumptions. Oh my goodness, excuse me, and get yourself into trouble. So, I'm going to be watching it, but I'm going to be waiting for it to tell me what that sentiment's going to be after the open, because, different pool of people come in, right? Some big money is going to hit the market as soon as the bell rings, and we've got to see what their intent is going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, one more last thing as we wait for Brian. Make sure to follow Peter and I. My tag at Twitter is Carlos M BBT. And what I would like you guys to do, if you can, this will be amazing. I would love to see some people even in our YouTube and also in our members. Head over to Trading Terminal. Take a trade on Tesla on the replay simulator, right? Take a trade on Tesla on the replay simulator, especially the one from 2 days ago. That one actually looks really, really good. Try to find a 1 minute, 5 minute, or any type of opening range breakout and screenshot it and tag us. I want to see how you guys are doing there. We'll love to see that. I think that's going to be pretty fun to see how people are trading their kind of style. So take advantage of that free replay simulator and tag us. And then Peter's Twitter is at Peter.
Oh man, come
Oh,
on.
sorry, man. I should have learned it. No, actually, you know what? This is what I'm gonna do. I have it here. I have it right here. This
At BBT
BBT.
Peter. There you
Yeah, there you
go.
go.
There I am. I had
BBT
to look it up on my
Peter. There
phone.
you go. And you know what? And tag Peter like crazy. So he is. Let's blow up his phone. So he is forced to jump on Twitter. Let's do that.
Uh,
Here is
you bet.
more
Go for it.
moderators list. More moderators list. We have Brian, Nvidia, Baba, and you. And then we have Paris, who had a monster trade on Amazon yesterday. Nvidia, AMD, Tesla, Baba, and you as well. All right, guys, over on YouTube, we're going to transition over to Brian as soon as he's get on the mic. Thank you so much. 242. Oh, we almost got it. I think we should be able to get 8 more by the time Brian is on. Peter, anything that we forgot to look at today? It's an
You know,
exciting day so far.
we didn't talk much about Unity software. You did mention it in passing. I mean, they had earnings. I don't personally love the look of it. You know, there's little concern over their business model because I think they had a big downturn in their mobile app business, and
Hmm.
it's not expected to recover in the next year. But you know, just as a trading stock, it is a NYSE stock, which just means they tend to trade a little bit differently. Doesn't look fantastic, but I'm surprised that both Brian and Paris have it on their list. So I might put it over here on a secondary screen just to see what it does,
Yeah.
because you know sometimes there is a little bit of FOMO that I get, you know, and I don't, if Brian and Paris are watching it, I want to completely miss out on it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, the great thing is if they're watching, they'll see something, they'll call it out, right? See something, say something, and then we can hopefully take advantage of that.
There you
um,
go.
absolutely. So yeah. Oh, there
There's
is
my alarm. 10 minutes.
Peter's alarm.
10 minutes to the open.
There you go.
All right. Well, trade safe, whatever you choose to do. Again, be careful on NVIDIA, and we will talk to you again tomorrow when Carlos and I are back.
Yes, absolutely. Stay tuned for transition to Brian. I'm just gonna. Oh, there he is. Good morning, Brian. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm good. Good morning, everybody.
All right. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm gonna hop off because I know if I stay on, you hear an echo on your end. But yeah, man, love to see what
Yes.
you have going on today, and
Perfect.
we'll be in chat.
All right. Good deal. Good morning, everybody. What's going on this morning? Obviously, a few earnings reports. NVIDIA came out with pretty much everything you want to hear for as a bull. Beat top and bottom line, guided higher. And yeah, so stock is rocking. Bit of a delayed response. I mean, I was on it at 420. Didn't really respond till about 440. I guess maybe they were delayed or something. Qs and SPY are bouncing back up here. Economic data. Did we had some? We had the jobless claim numbers this morning. Came in pretty strong, I think. So economy is still good. Treasuries, I think, are moving up again. TLT. The dollar's flat. Just show you what I'm looking at here. Just looking at the gappers. Went through a few more. Unity, I was thinking maybe a rising devil, but it's not. It's really just sort of on the VWAP. So it's not really looking like a good setup right now. Actually, what yields are dropping a bit here. TLT is going up. So the 20-year, so yields are dropping a bit. Yeah, I looked at W. I didn't really like the, yeah, it could be. Yeah. Didn't like the volume. The volume was pretty tame. 400,000 shares. Definitely could be a rising devil trade. I was kind of holding that one back. I think I'll watch that. I'm going to watch W. Baba's always tricky to trade. Okay, well, I'm not seeing anything yet. It's got 5 minutes to the open. SPY and the Qs are really strong. Qs, they're at basically near the high of the pre-market. Qs had a real run since 8:30. I guess what was the, what were the jobless claims? Anybody new? I think they came in under 200,000, didn't they? Yeah, under 200,000 again. Yeah, AMD's popping. AW's popping up here. Not what I want to see for a rising devil trade. Strength going into the open. Don't like Unity. Don't like you. I'm going to switch to AMD. Baba's gone above the VWAP. So originally I was thinking of this as a lead balloon trade, but now it's popping up. It's above the VWAP now. They had good numbers too, apparently. If you want to believe what the Chinese are telling you, Chinese accounting firms. And the Chinese government. Interesting. Yield, the TLT is going up means yields are on the 20-year starting to drop. That's weird. After a strong jobs number. Okay. Yeah, Alibaba beat by 39 cents and didn't really beat by much on the revenue, 40 million on 36 billion. That's a little bit, but not much. Probably going to get a pullback at the open here. Tesla's dropping now. Qs are dropping a bit.
Hey, morning, Brian.
Good morning. Good morning, sir.
I thought I'd come keep you company, keep the boss's seat warm, and until he gets in. We're seeing a lot of selling pressure getting put on top of the ES right now up in this higher area. So I don't know if they're trying to like hold the price up into the open or not, but they're throwing a lot of shares there. I finally got my Bookmap subscription put together, so I'm now watching, being able to see this like freaking really cool order book. I think it's so neat.
Yeah, I think we looked at, I want to do Amazon. Amazon just took a bit of a dive. The other thing that I'm seeing on the screen here that's I think is kind of weird is Netflix. Netflix is down. Netflix is one of the very few things that's red on the screen. SPY is pushing higher here. AMD pulling back a bit now.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of orders sitting around 402. Look for the SPY to see how hot it opens. If it opens too hot, I might look for a short on it actually. But we're going to kind of keep an eye on things.